over on the left. They got the arrowhead set up. They go wide though now. Playing to the line, looking, does well, does Avery. Avery sets the light for Jake Tago. And I tell you what, he knows where the try line is. Luke. Quite a lovely ball for Tago, and the referee says, I'm impressed as well. Brown gets to his feet. They're going to sweep it. Tweed, ball in hand, puts it high in the air. The leap's on. Down they come, and lovely work.
To start.
Jennings with a restart. Talau. Hinchy does it all on his own. They're all lining up. That's what they are doing. Lukani. Still alive here. The referee's going to say try. He's going to say Teddy. The kick from Tweed, threading the needle, and Sam Runny said, I'll get over the needle and put the cotton in. That first receiver, Pryke, does a bit of ball playing now. Tweed still, ball's been knocked down, picked up nicely. Opportunity here for the Storm. The race is on. Cesari coming is Sam Runny, but he can't get him. Tweed, runners inside, outside, goes out the back. Talataina, he puts it on a platter for Will Latu, and Will Latu dines on it. Off that left, he'll get to halfway to Lau. Good work there, looks and found Abel. Abel wanted a runner and finds one in Peel. It was good work to Lau. He initially started it for Peel. Peel skips back to the right, says, here you go, boys. And now Hill go, ball's bobbling around. Referee's going to say, try to Mitchell Jennings.
So the Eels walking away with an impressive victory in the first round of the New South Wales Cup. A relatively young squad by comparison to what we've seen in recent seasons, but a 14-point win over the newcomers, the Melbourne Storm, who I thought put in a pretty solid effort, especially in the second half. I thought that Parramatta had all the running in the first 40. Their halves are absolutely outstanding, as we'll look at in the deep dive in a moment, in Tweed and Talataina, and Melbourne just didn't have any answers for them in the final analysis. Let's take a look at our stats deep dive. I'm going to kick off with Mitch Jennings, the young centre from their Jersey Flegg squad. He was outstanding. 17 runs, 172 metres, 5 tackle breaks, 2 offloads. I thought he was very, very impressive throughout. KCI Nuded Fane got for about 52 minutes of play. Yeah, just over 100 metres in the middle third, 4 tackle breaks and an offload, 21 tackles, no misses. A very fair effort there. And then Angus Hinchy as well. I thought he was the best of the Melbourne forwards in this one. 8 tackle breaks for a middle, 31 tackles with just a 1 miss. Very, very impressive areas. For the Eels, Arpa Tweed had 3 try assists. He had it on an absolute string in this game. Defensively, though, these halves have a little bit more work to do. They're very young, very raw, especially in the front line of defence, so I expect that these contact issues will be ever present for them, at least for the first, say, 5 or 6 weeks of the season. Luca Moretti, he's potentially looking for a new club. He's on the bit of the outer at the moment. I thought he was very, very impressive. He's working his way back in from injury, so he had 40 minutes in this one, 12 runs, 136 metres, 2 tackle breaks, a couple offloads, 12 tackles in this one. He was absolutely everywhere with ball in hand. And of course, remember, our 3-2-1 voting, we're teaming up with the lovely folk over at the Short Ball this year, and we will be putting together our 3-2-1s for every game in the New South Wales Cup, as well as our own 3-2-1s for Queensland. Also, I thought the young forward, Tiankum Brown, was very, very impressive. We won't see the Eels go around next week because they're on the bye, but of course, a lot of eyes will be on them very, very shortly. Well, next up, we're going across to Tasman to see the Warriors looking to defend their New South Wales Cup crown. They've lost a lot of talent over the off-season, and they're taking on a Roosters side that'll be crowing at the bit to make up for last year's semi-final misses.
For the fullback Flaherty, last quick play, the ball cut out pass from Foley, heads to the wing of Rodwell. They look to score the first try of the season. Looking to go back-to-back here, the Roosters. Down the short side, Foley. What a pill that is to Junior Tupou. Here for Salesi. Foley kicks it up over the top. Chasing is Duna. Getting to the ball first is Duna. And he will get it down as well. Legs ready to play it. Thessalay. Katoa tip on here from Foley. Now it's Barton, who once again breaks through. Tries to stand up. Doyle does so. It's seamless effort. Hayden Barton. Dream start for the back rower here today. Here for Allen to go to Foley. Flaherty. This looks Chris here for the Roosters, and Talau hands up for Toko, who's had to come to the opposite side of the field for Carly. First 40 minutes. Something here with drama. Open up the space here through the middle, and watch out, here's danger for the Roosters. Roosters offload for Foley. Fuddy Alofa can't bring him down, and Jackson Allen. It's been a whitewash barrage in the first 40 minutes from the Sydney Roosters. Tough one. Here for Cleary. Up here for Mellars, who can jump. And Hazen Mellars, what an athlete. The first try of the campaign for the Warriors goes down to Hazen Mellars. Bring him down. Allen. Foley. Oh, beautiful ball there for Barton. Barton weighs up the options. Sets it there on a platter. Talau has a double. Beautiful ball set up there. The time blown back on by the official. They go attack that side straight away. Running into the line. Mellars jumping and diving. Tafua trying to burst onto the ball and gets over with his first carry of the rock. Tepatasi Lau Malili. Against the will there of the Warriors. Allen trying to grub a kick in there and trying to fall on the ball. They will, the Roosters. So back underway through the short kickoff and juggling it. Play will be called. And it's Jackson Allen who runs away almost untouched. And one of the more bizarre tries I think I've ever seen, if they defensively, alongside Alloa. Now here for Foketi, who just muscles his way over the line.
Well, the statement has been officially made. The Roosters aren't here to mess around in season 2026 with a 34-point verdict over in Auckland. We were at this game and the Roosters just had the entire running on the first half. Their forward pack set a really impressive tone. The likes of De La Silva, Taylor Lasalu, Salesi, Foketi and Jackson Riley ran roughshod over the Warriors side that just is missing that experience. The likes of Tom Ale, Bunty Arfoa, that forward pack, Kalani going as well. You take those guys out of any forward pack in this competition and they are going to be absolutely feeling it, let me tell you that much. So let's take a look at some of the key performers, kicking off with the Wires. Mackay Tafua, I think, is a very impressive hooking prospect coming through the ranks. He had 9 runs, 66 metres, a line break, 3 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 45 tackles. That was a team and a game high 45 tackles, I might add. Luke Hanson, he was the only one really offering any good ball attack for the Warriors. We spoke to him after the game. He's very happy with how things are progressing with this young squad. He says it's going to be a work in progress this season and not to expect too much, but as long as he gets the progressions game by game, then I think that that's something to keep a potential eye on. He also had 2 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 12 tackles without a miss, and a line break, as we mentioned. And then Christian Sukavea on his New South Wales Cup debut. Very, very sound performance from him. 6 tackle breaks, 12 runs, 127 metres. For the Roosters, though, Reece Foley was the absolute star of the first half. He had 4 try assists, he had hands in several others. He was absolutely in everything in the first 40 minutes and just dictated terms nicely. He knew he had to step up as a dominant half, and that's the first time I've really seen from Reece Foley as an open age player, him really step up and take the game by the scruff of the neck, and that's what I want to see from him. Next up, Lachlan Dooner. I thought he played really well in a new position, playing in the halves this week. He picked up a try. It was just really giving Jed Cleary some nightmares out on that left-hand side of the field. I mean, that's what you want from Lachlan Dooner. Very impressive performance from him. The only knock was the goal kicking, let me tell you. And then Salesi Foketi. He played 80 minutes in this one, backed up to play 15 in firsts. He had 3 line breaks, 13 runs, 191 metres, 5 tackle breaks, 31 tackles with just the 1 miss and the 2 ineffective. Well, next up, we're taking a trip out to the St Mary's League Stadium for the clash between the Penrith Panthers and the North Sydney Bears.
Drifts sideways again. Back to Toby. He has a look and kicks. How's the chase this time? Ball bobbles out. Bears will put it down. That's not a training ground move. But it's the first try of the season for North Sydney. And They've bobbed up this year somewhere else. As here goes Harry Armstrong in space. He'll take some stopping at that speed. Toby went low and couldn't stop him. Power and pace from Harry Armstrong. He has been busy. Scott again. Short ball. Vailalo and Cole with the flick. That was pretty nifty. Now Clark burrows and gets down. Big and strong Zachary Clark. Keep it moving. Now Toby kicks. Chase is pretty good. Here they come. Ball skittled forward. They can fall on this. They can fall on this again. They get their second the way they got their first. Yates, he just took them on and flung it. He finds Stedman on his Bears debut, who might just have clinched the points. They were behind too often. Scott, short ball. Crosby, he walks it in. He walks it in. 3 to go. Bears fans incandescent. Kick for touch, didn't go out. Referee says it didn't go out, but now it does go out. Oh, goodness me. What is going on out there? Now it's Cole who throws the dummy and does it himself. He does it himself.
Oh boy, talk about a bit of drama at the end of the game. The North Sydney Bears, they thought they had it won. But as has been the case so often in the Bears' history, a couple of tries late and the Panthers have gotten out of jail. It was the story of 2025 for North Sydney and it appears to have carried over into 2026. Let's take a look at some of the key performers. Jack Cole picking up a try, a line break, 6 tackle breaks, a line break assist, a try assist and an offload. Defended really well as well. I think he forced a dropout too. Very, very impressive performance from Jack Cole. Of course, the Perth Bears have been heavily linked with his services in the last couple of weeks. And then Tom Arlo, I thought he was really, really impressive. We spoke just before about how the Warriors missed him. The Panthers really benefited from having him. 49 minutes, 15 runs, 122 metres, 8 tackle breaks, solid in the middle third. Absolutely outstanding areas. And then Isaac Tonga, he had to make a statement after being dropped. Ivan Cleary came out this week and said he had some personal stuff to deal with. And I think that really played into this week for Isaac. He really settled into the New South Wales Cup. 21 runs, 208 metres, solid with ball in hand. Exactly what you want to see. But I think as long as Tom Jenkins and Paul Alamoti and Casey McLean, as long as that back five keep firing, I think Isaac Tonga might find himself on the bench or in reserve grade quite often. Of course, he's on the extended bench this week with the NRL players playing in Bathurst and the Cup playing in St Mary's. I don't think we'll get Isaac some game time this week, but that's sort of the only con of this 6-man bench at the moment. Next up for the Bears, Jake Toby. He had 19 runs, 179 metres, 9 tackle breaks, 2 try assists. That error off the kick for touch is so unlucky for him because I thought he had a terrific game and he deserved more in that game than for that to have finished up the way it did. Jaden Yates, I thought was outstanding. He had a 1-on-1 strip, 2 offloads, 31 tackles. He had the line break and the try assist to put Tom Stedman away for what the Bears fans thought would have been the game-sealing try, but it wasn't to be, but I thought he had a terrific performance. And then Amarin Gudgeon, he had a try, 19 runs, 168 metres, 3 tackle breaks, but he was absolutely targeted in defence. Those numbers there are not pretty reading for anyone in any grade, so that will have to be rectified pretty quickly as well. I thought their forward pack, the likes of Mackay, were pretty good, but I want to see their edge back rowers utilised a bit more, because Riley Main can run a really good line, and Matt Stimson's a really consistent player, as we highlighted most of last year. Well, next up, we're taking a trip to the Belmore Sports Ground for the clash between the Canterbury Bulldogs and the St George Illawarra Dragons. Both sides will be looking to prove they've got what it takes.
Southern Air, Reece, taking it to the line, and that's lovely from the Dragons. A fast start, and it's a couple of metres out. Hopboy plays it. Tiaupa, out the back, 2-on-1, and Jonathan Sewer. Finally, the Dogs crack the Dragons. Angalilo goes right, and King Tongia trickles the ball through, and Sagranis wins the race. Deft touch from Lycan King Tongia. King Tongia shows it, and then Sewer, like a thief in the night, pinches the football, pinches a second try, and will put Canterbury level. Oh, Jonathan Sewer. A good, strong carry. Finau on the field in 9, and he gives it to Halangahu. Yes! The Dragons with a crucial blow with 13 to go.
So the Dragons escape with a 4-point victory in a gritty display at the Belmore Sports Ground in what was a pretty dour sort of affair. Jacob Halangahu's try in the 66th minute sealing the performance for the Red V. Let's take a look at some of the key performers though. Jonathan Sewer, he picked up a double, 239 metres, a line break, a couple of tackle busts and an offload. It was the pick of the backs for the Dogs in this one, and of course he'll be looking to potentially push his way up. He's probably sort of, along with Anaru Tual, the next cab off the rank when it comes to Bulldogs outside backs. So that will be an interesting watch as the season goes on. Alex Conti's a good young half. He's stepping up in the absence of Mitch Woods. He had a 40-20, some good running meters, a couple of tackle busts, an offload, 23 tackles. He did miss 5 though, but ultimately those are sort of the minor things. And then Logan Spinks had 6 runs to 116 metres, a line break assist, a try assist, a couple of tackle breaks, and a couple of offloads as well, with some solid efforts in defence. For the Dragons, they did battle really hard. They lost Cade Reid early to a HIA, and it meant this man, Lincoln King Toiga, had to step up. 74 running metres, 2 try assists, a line break assist, 14 tackles, no misses. It feels like this year is him putting himself in the shop window. The Dragons seem very keen on Atkinson and Flanagan. Cade Reid seems to be half number 3 coming through the depth chart. So it's really a put up or shut up sort of year for LKT. And then we've got Ryan Hutchison. 49 minutes, 12 runs, 141 metres, a line break, 4 tackle breaks, 39 tackles in this one. An absolutely insane effort off the interchange bench. And then Jacob Halangahu, who I thought was outstanding as well. 3 tackle breaks, 11 runs, 110 metres, the go-ahead try to win the game, and then 23 tackles. Not a bad effort to boot. Well, our final Saturday fixture saw us take a trip to Brookvale Oval, where Manly looked to go head-to-head with a Raiders side that got the boost of a couple NRL ring-ins.
Which we'll talk about. Docker Clay, there's space wide for Manly. Cut out ball, Blake Wilson with his first touch of the Seagull. He's got a try. Well, good Tutia's out there. Wakeham back on the inside. Brian straight through, crashing in. He's been threatening to do that with all his runs so far. Paddy trying to duck underneath and get in. Manly were awake to it. Dummy half. Black. Crossfield kick over the head of Wilson. It's pinpoints, and it's a try for the Raiders. Finds Wakeham, dribbles a ball towards the in goal. Finau, dragged back in. And that's what referee Mitch Curry says. Goal line dropouts. Wakeham first receiver. Finding Docker Clay. Grubber kick through. Foketi wanted it, and he got it. A try for Manly again. Line ball, Black running right at the advantage line. Kobe Black. Offload for Timoko. Finds Asamoah. Kick back inside. And it's with Owen Paddy, who wins the race to the ball. A few years ago. Zach Docker Clay finding a way through. Docker Clay into the backfield. Finds support in Muagututia. And Manly turning it on. Alea. Black. Afamasanga tipping it on. And Finau a 3-run to the line. And he's got a double. Muagututia. High goes Wakeham. Looking up. Willett. This is poised for him. Referee saying it was touched by the Raiders and then dived on by Manly. So that's a try. Stewart does the same thing and does it successfully. So another try for the Raiders. They do reduce the margin. Martin, Black at speed, pops the ball over the top. And in the corner, Anderson. Does he get it down? Looking at the referee, he likes what he sees. But in comes Black. Strikes it well, hooking around, and it misses.
So, that's a bit of an unlucky way for Canberra to lose the game of football, but for Manly, I thought they were outstanding and they reaped the benefits of it. A 28-26 win, and they had to do it tough. Tex Hoy going off injured in the 11th minute after that tackle from the try-saver from Chevy Stewart. So you saw Braith Alexander really step up, and I thought Brandon Wakeham and Zach Docker-Clay did an impressive job there too. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they didn't blow a lead like they did many times last year, but what they did do was come back bravely late after a strong start from the Manly side. Let's take a look at the stats deep dive. Zach Docker-Clay had 3 try assists in this game. He also had a line break assist, was very effective with ball in hand, Zach Docker-Clay. Paul Bryant earned himself an NRL recall this week. He played a lot of minutes due to the reshuffles in the pack. He had 12 runs, 115 metres, a try and a line break, 3 tackle breaks, 19 tackles. Brendan Wakeham stepped up into the halves to cover the injury to Tex Hoy. He had 2 forced dropouts, a try assist and intercept, and was very impressive, dictating terms out of acting half. For the Raiders, Chevy Stewart, I thought, also stood up. He moved to centre to, of course, have Ethan Alay move to fullback. He had a couple of very huge efforts in defence. We touched on the try-saver for Tex Hoy a moment ago. He also had 14 runs, 125 metres, a line break assist, a try assist, and 6 tackle breaks. He's been linked to a move to the UK because the Super League have been dealing with a plethora of fullbacks that have gone down injured over the first month of their season, so that's a potential watch. Also look at guys like Trey Fuller and Ben Farr in that regard. We'll have a bit to say about Ben Farr later. Owen Paddy, though, he's moved down. That's been well documented, but I thought he was outstanding in this one. Kicked well, tackled well, but I think Ricky Stewart just wants to see these consistent big minute efforts a bit more. And then Matt Timoko had a game high, 155 metres, only the 1 tackle break, 12 tackles, 4 missed, so the defensive deficiencies still remained. Also had a line break there too. He's named in the extended squad, so you'd assume if Ricky Stewart's happy with him, he'll come into the starting squad, and then Simi Sasangi will move back into that interchange Mr. Fix-It role throughout the match. Well, our final game from round 1 took us out to Cessnock for the clash between the Newcastle Knights and the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Goes to the sky. This one straight up. The breeze has held it up. There's plenty nice there. Henderson has the biggest chip and chase I've seen. It's still on here with Kapoa. Kapoa throws the ball out to Aoki. He gets the bounce. The cover defence is there. Still the last. Of course, he's with it. Still the last, I believe. Of course, he's going to be wrapped up. Ball pops out. Henderson's there. He's everywhere. Flicks it at the back. Aoki. Now they got 6 again, the Knights. Hopwood. Hopwood here. Quick pans to Vitano. Liam Moana. Elijah Liam Moana. The legs. Sigwell again. Puts a grubber in. Deflection. It could be 6 again here. Ayesh is back there. Ayesh might have a run to the line here. Afualo. Afualo cuts back in. Gets away from another one. William Afualo underneath the posts. Sam. On to Manuel Leilua. Pops away from one. Steps away from Dufty. Francis Manuel Leilua scores. The Knights go back in front. Manu Leilua almost gets through. Just tripped. Pops a beautiful pass to Henderson though. Henderson slices through and linking up with Kane Graham. Newcastle get their third. Down the sideline, short side again. Picked up beautifully here by Teo Kamari. Puts the kick in for Vitano. Connor Vitano gets the Knights 4th. Arthur waits for it at dummy half. Puts it on the toe. Chasing through is Kane Graham looking for a double. It's a photo finish. The Knights, centre field. Vitano thought about the cutout ball. He didn't need to. He's got big Francis Manu Leilua. He picks up a double. And on he's over the line. He's got it down. Another one to the Knights. Sigwell had to reach for that one. Dufty tries to run around and pops the ball to Watera. He's over. South Sydney get their second. Davis out of dummy half. Spins over the line, try. Down the short side they go here. Oh, here Moana puts it on the toe. Chasing through to Corsi. Gets a lovely bounce. The Knights hit 50.
Well, what about that, hey? The Newcastle Knights put on a 52-10 masterclass against South Sydney. Funny enough, it was only 12-6 at half-time, and then Newcastle just put the absolute cleaners through them. An absolutely electric display of football out there at Cessnock. South Sydney, realistically, had no answers. Let's take a look at some of the key performers. I'm going to start off with my man, Francis Manu Leilua, and I'm so glad that he's potentially getting a chance in the NRL this weekend because Good God, he deserves one if he gets on the field at 4 Pines Park. He got a double in 67 minutes, 2 line break assists, 6 tackle breaks, 12 runs, 131 metres, 2 offloads. If you give him any sort of open space, he's going to absolutely destroy you. Speaking of giving chances and openly destroying people, Elijah Salesi Moana. He made his NRL debut last year and I thought he was absolutely outstanding at times. And we'll talk about him more in our player of the match, but he was on fire. South Sydney just did not know how to contain this bloke, and it was absolutely electric to watch. And then Talataina as well. He's putting himself in the shop window this year because you've obviously got KP, Fletcher Sharp, a couple other exciting young talents coming through the wings over in Newcastle at the moment. So it feels like Matano is really in a prove-it year. Sort of similar to Inking King Toiga that we spoke about just before. So that will be a watch for me throughout this 2026 season. But let's take a look now at South Sydney, and we're going to kick off with Will Afalalo. Now, was probably the bigger of the South Sydney players, I thought. He had a try, 16 runs, 138 metres, 68 post contact, a line break, 2 tackle breaks. He looked dangerous when he had the ball in hand, especially near the goal line. John Riddell's next. He had 55 minutes on his New South Wales Cup debut. He's an unheralded front rower who will get better as the season goes on. And then Matty Duffy, with ball in hand, he's absolutely electric. He had a line break, 2 line break assists, a try assist. He looked damaging, but limited attacking opportunity for the Rabbitohs in the second half, so I expect that to improve if Rabbitohs get more of an even share of possession in matches, but it was just ultra dominated by the Newcastle Knights. So let's take a look at how our ladder stands at the completion of the first round. The winners at the top there, Newtown and Western Suburbs had the bye, so they'll get their 2 points added in there. And then obviously the losers dominate the bottom end of the ladder with South Sydney at the bottom of the ladder at the moment. Well, this year, as we mentioned, we'll be doing a 3-2-1, teaming up with the lovely folk over at the short ball. So these are our top 6, our top 3 vote getters, our top 6 vote getters from the opening week, all getting 3 votes. Our team of the week looks like this. Of course, Connor Vitano lining up at fullback, Jake Tungle and Jonathan Sewer on the wings, Chevy Stewart and Kyle McCarthy in the centres, Lorenzo Talataina and Arpatwano in the halves, the forwards, Paul Bryant and Tom Ale, Owen Paddy the hooker, Jacob Halengahu and Francis Manuelua in the back row, Elijah Salesi Moana is the lock, forward and player of the round, the bench of Foley, Hutchison, Foketi, Hinchy and Jake Toby as 18th man. As we mentioned, our player of the round is Elijah Salesi Moana. He had 55 minutes, he scored 2 tries, 11 runs to 82 metres, 2 line breaks, a try assist, 5 tackle breaks, 4 offloads, 25 tackles, which is the 1 miss and 1 ineffective, and there's a fair chance he'll be a regular at season's end in the NRL for the Newcastle Knights. Well, next up, we will be going to the Queensland Cup, where we kick off our season at BMD Cougarai Oval for the clash between Wynnum Manly and South Logan. So South Logan picking up a 24-16 win to kickstart their season. Tom Duffy having his hand in a lot of the early going. Callum Eggling, the young hooker, picking up 2 tries as well. Meanwhile, for Wynnum Manly, they had a couple of new feeder affiliations. They had Grant Anderson and Ben Takura to come in, but it was the young winger, Antonio Verhoeven, who looked to impress, and he kicks off our stats deep dive. He had a try, 23 runs to 204 metres, 2 line breaks, 5 tackle breaks. He's a young talent that Brisbane have significant hopes for. Ben Farr had 18 runs for 223 metres, 2 line break assists. That pass he threw at the end was absolutely on point. Also had 5 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. As we touched on with Chevy Stewart, Super League clubs have sounded him out given the fullback crisis that is ongoing over there. Be interesting to see where he picks up a new deal. And then we got Jaden Hunt, 61 minutes in the middle. He had 9 runs to 87 metres, I should say. 2 tackle breaks and an offload. 33 tackles with 3 misses and 2 ineffective. Moving on now to South Logan, and Tom Duffy is next. He had a forced dropout, a line break and a try assist. 25 tackles with 3 missed, 1 ineffective. A very sound performance from Duffy on his South Logan debut. And then Carl Megley had 56 minutes at starting 9, a double, a line break, 2 tackle breaks, 33 tackles with 3 missed, 1 ineffective. And then Preston Ricky had 60 minutes in the middle third. He had a line break, 8 runs to 66 metres. He had a try assist as well as 2 offloads. That pass he threw back on the inside for Eggling's try in the first half was very impressive. He also had 35 tackles with 2 misses. We highlighted his defensive prowesses last season quite a number of times. Meanwhile, there was a couple of Broncos players here that I want to touch on real quick, one of them being Jesse Arthurs. He played in this game in the centres. He had 11 runs for 89 metres. Hayes Perham impressive at fullback, 21 runs for 231 metres. Grant Anderson had 15 carries for 126 metres, while Ben Takura was pretty ineffective off the bench with just 5 runs for 39 metres and the 1 tackle break, but he did defend really well. Well, next up we're heading over to Tweed Heads for the clash between the Seagulls and the new look Sunshine Coast Falcons.
Go, 3. That's 5-3.
And it was a victory for the Tweed Seagulls by 6 points. Max Bradbury crossing over late for a 34-28 verdict there. The Falcons, they gave it a red-hot crack in their first match without their new Melbourne Storm affiliation. Let's take a look at some of the key performances. Romano Cook for the hooker. He had 3 line break assists, 3 try assists. His deceptive passing at the line was very, very impressive. He did pick up a sin bin late, but I thought he was very, very sound with ball in hand. 24 tackles with just the 1 miss, the 1 ineffective. Max Bradbury's up next. He picked up our free votes, and he had 2 line breaks, a line break assist, and an offload. He picked up the game-sealing try in the 72nd minute as well. 24 tackles with 3 missed, 1 ineffective. He'll be a very astute pickup for the Seagulls. He did spend the NRL off-season with the Gold Coast Titans. And then Caleb Ngannou's up next. He picked up a try, 3 line breaks, 6 tackle breaks, a line break assist, 2 offloads with 13 runs and 143 metres. So a pretty impressive display from him there. Moving over to the Sunshine Coast, Mason Payne is up next. He picked up a line break and a try assist, 4 tackle breaks. Defensively, he's a very sound built centre, and I really like him coming through the ranks. He had 143 metres, and most of them did come off that intercept, so his yardage work does need to pick up a little bit. We do like to see those guys really progress through, take the ball out of their own end. And then we've got Tom Casey up next. He picked up a try, 92 running metres, a line break assist, and a try assist. He was impressive in defence at times, but he did miss 5 tackles out there. Also, 6 tackle breaks ain't a bad effort. And then Wyatt Reynolds is one of our cult heroes, Mr. Consistent off the bench. He had 32 minutes in this one, 9 runs to 89 metres with 3 tackle breaks and an offload. And of course, 100% tackle efficiency off the pine. Well, next up, we're heading over to Premier's Park for the clash between the North Devils and the Mackay Cutters, who are looking to continue their rise under new coach Shannon Cuthbertson.
Release! 5 back, Sean.
Hold!
6 more! Slow! No tackles. Got it down. I've got it down, mate. Okay, tackle 3. 3. Backwards on
Still
3.
Still 3.
Yep. Straight away! Give room! Back 4! Hold! 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 Go for
Hold! Left side all early. Keep going, mate. Keep going.
Good, mate. Good.
Hold!
Good line.
Good! Play on last! Inside.
Down, mate. All good, mate.
Last. Ball down. Good.
Happy, mate.
Shooters! Whole line! Let's go, we're up. Go 3.
Good.
Catch, fall down.
Happy.
We're competing, yep. Ball in, clock off. Good line. Fall down.
All good, mate.
Go 2.
Grounded.
Give room. Wait, go last.
Falls
Down. I've got 4 on the ground. Easy, guys, easy.
And a win there for the Cutters, picking up a 32-18 win. It was an 18-12 lead at half-time, well, thanks to that brilliant try from James Flack. But it was all one-way traffic in the second half, with the Mackay Cutters running out victorious by 14 points. Let's take a look at our stats deep dive, and James Flack is there again. He had 5 tackle breaks, most of which came off that brilliant individual try just before the break. He had a try in 60 minutes, 9 runs to 77 metres, a line break, as well as 22 tackles with 2 missed and 2 ineffective. Next up, Brodie Hamalua. He had the full 80 minutes. He had a line break assist, 2 offloads, 9 runs to 69 metres. I would like to see that carry rate go to about 11 to 12 in that 80-minute range. It just feels a little bit suboptimal if you're on the field for 80 minutes and you're having less than 10 runs of the football. He had 35 tackles, though, with 1 miss and 1 ineffective. Next up, Tony Tamusa, I should say. This one is the definition of a mixed bag. He had a try, 11 runs, 136 metres, a line break assist, and a try assist. That all looks good. 4 tackle breaks and offload looks good. But you look at the defensive numbers and you just scream internally. That was not fun to watch from Tony Tamusa, I should say. Something that will have to be rectified fairly quickly. For the Mackay Cutters, though, we're going to look at Raiden Burns to start with. He had a try, 17 runs, 205 metres, a line break, 5 tackle breaks and an offload. He's back better than ever in 2026, Raiden Burns. He's going to have a lot of people looking at him going forward. Speaking of having a lot of people looking at him, what about Jordan Martin? He had a double in this one. According to our reporter out there, Sam Revel from the Wobbling Jaw Sports podcast, He was like a man possessed. He had a double, 13 runs, 133 metres, 2 line breaks, 4 tackle breaks, 24 tackles as well. But all eyes on Mason Barber. I thought he was very good with his work rate. 5 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, very impressive stuff. Defensively, he's still adjusting to being a centre, so there was a couple of misreads. I think there was one, I think it was the Tamusa try that we saw in the highlight package. It was just a little bit off tilter. But apart from that, I thought he was really, really solid with his defensive work rate. So that will be one to watch throughout the year. I thought Mason Kidder, he conceded 4 penalties in this game. That's something that needs to be rectified very quickly if you want to try and crack an NRL squad. And the other one, I thought Matt Watts. He's just a plotter out there in the middle third, and he's one that the Cowboys do have on a development deal, but he needs to lift his game quite considerably in my view. Well, next up we're going over to KO Stadium where Max Plath made a welcome return from his ACL injury to take on the Burleigh Bears, who have seen some affiliation changes of their own.
Dave Elliott also doing some assistant work with the Dolphins NRL side. Here's an early kick for Bradley. Now they turn defence into attack here with Michael McGrath on the inside. Here go the Dolphins over the 40, halfway and off to the races. Tavita now far. Oh no, it's Cole Coghill. And Coghill, he takes it coast to coast to the house. And the Dolphins are off to the perfect start in 2026.
From Wynnum Manly.
Former captain. And now a chance here for Bellies. They hold it up beautifully. William Lewis on debut. It doesn't get much better.
Yeah, Drury, I did.
So here comes the kick inside the 40. This one, that might be a 40-20. In these conditions, that would be a miracle. Just about.
I suspect it's just short. Touch judge. Stops just short of the 20.
And now the short ball. He might go all the way here. Captain Courageous Sam Costa. Forcer now with Redcliffe on the last. James, kick inside for Oluwapu. Trouble here for the Bears. Kick forward from Oluwapu as he waves his magic wand, and Carl Oluwapu delivers the Dolphins a potential lead right in front of their home fans.
And things suddenly turn to Burleigh's way.
And now a chance here with the overlap as West on now in the corner to Bradley. It started with Guy Hamilton. It finishes with Kane Bradley. Looking to seal it here, the Bears. Costa from the pass from Teague. And Sam Costa crashes over. Is that the match winner for the Burleigh Bears?
Well, it was difficult conditions at KO Stadium, but it was the Burleigh Bears picking up a 10-point victory to kickstart their Hostplus Cup premiership defence over a very determined Redcliffe Dolphins side. It was a tough game. The conditions played a part in some of the poor handling we saw at times throughout the match, but it was an effective game nonetheless. Let's take a look at some of the key performances. We're going to kick off with Max Plath. He is back in a big way. He's been named in the NRL squad, parachuted straight in. He was quiet but effective in his first game back. 31 minutes, he had 3 runs, purely playing out of dummy half. A tackle break as well with 16 tackles and just the 1 miss. He'll be on the bench this week in the NRL. Be interesting to see what his minutes look like on return. Next up, Josh James. I thought he game managed really well to get them into a position to compete. He had a try assist, 23 tackles, a forced dropout, 23 tackles, no misses. I know a lot of people are going to ask me for my views on Carl Oluwapu. I thought he was really consistent in this game. He had a 40-20, ran the ball effectively, made a couple of mistakes though that were a little bit costly. And then we go to Tweed Nafahi. He was the Dolphins player of the match for Redcliffe. He had 17 runs, 135 metres, a line break assist, 9 tackle breaks, 8 tackles, 2 missed, 1 ineffective. With all of the major rationales around the Dolphins outside backcourt, it'd be hard to see Nafahu get in or take some sort of injury crisis that saw him make his NRL debut last year, but it'll be one to keep an eye on. On the Burleigh Bears, we're going to kick off with Mason Teague. He played the full 80 minutes. He had 2 line break assists, 2 try assists, 40 tackles with the 1 miss. Now, it's very interesting to see Mason move from what we see as a lock forward role previously to just playing as a pure 9. I think that's where I see him moving forward. He's got a good frame on him. He's going to work hard. He can run the ball effectively at times as well. It'll be a very handy pickup from Newcastle. Next up, a bit of our cold hero, Sam Costa. He picked up a double in this one. 9 runs to 68 metres, 2 line breaks, 5 tackle breaks, 24 tackles without a miss. I thought he was very, very consistent there. And then Will Lewis, the man they picked up in the Parramatta Eels, 80 minutes on an edge, a try, 7 runs to 69 metres. He had a great try off a short ball. He had 40 tackles, but he did miss 6 of them. Well, next up on our lower grade wrap, we're going to be going out to the Western Clydesdales. They've got new coaches in the Walker brothers, and they'll be looking for a change in fortune against the Brisbane Tigers side, led by their new coach in Ginny Lenahan.
You're big there. Good. He's good. Up, up.
Good, Matt. I'll stay against Shell. Last tackle, due to square.
2 feet 6.
Hold. You're all in the rough. 21 metres just past the line. Yes. And down. Matt.
Wait.
Hold. Go 2. Okay, short. Give space.
On the line.
Hold. Hold. Go 3.
Held it.
Good. Hold. Go 3. Hey, Justin, keep going.
Yep.
Yep. Good. Starting beyond, no tackles. Rock on.
Derek coming. Held it there, coming. Yep. He's in. Still in.
Move!
Right.
Go 1 good. 4's good.
Emery's involved. He's up. He's up. 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 Up.
Hold up. On the road. Go 2. Return 2. Keep down. Keep down.
I got 10.
Still 3.
Keep going backwards. And. Happy.
Good.
Much improved performance from the Western Clydesdales based off what we've seen in previous seasons. They're going to compete, they're going to be scrappy, and I thought that they showed that in the first half. It was just that 15-minute period after half-time where the Brisbane Tigers turned the switch and scored 3 tries to run away 22 points to 12 winners. Let's take a look at some of their key performers though. We're going to kick off with Darcy Clifton. He had 58 minutes in the back row, 8 runs to 61 metres, 2 tackle breaks, 31 tackles without a miss. I remember seeing him run around for the Roosters in their Howard Mats and thought there was a player there, but we haven't really seen him in the last couple of seasons. He was playing local A grade, I think, in the Cronulla comp, in Port Macquarie comp recently. So that's going to be a watch this season to see how he continues to progress. I really liked him as a player coming through the junior reps. He just never got that consistent opportunity. Next up, Matty Parcell. Yes, Matt Parcell is back playing local rugby league. He picked up a try, played the full 80 at dummy half. He had 8 runs to 61 metres, 2 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. Anything that their attack was generating was coming through Matt Parcell. He had 21 tackles, 1 miss, and also a cheeky one-on-one strip. Next up, Stanford Toledo. We highlighted this man a lot last year. He had 9 runs to 75 metres, a line break assist, a try assist, an offload there as well. He's a very physical, sort of built-up back rower. Centre that's going to be a key player for the Clydesdales this season out wide as their limited try scoring opportunities need to be converted. Moving over to the Brisbane Tigers, they're another side that's been impacted by the loss of the Melbourne Storm affiliation. Zane Dunford, the man from Manly, he picked up a try, 14 runs for 108 metres, a line break, 5 tackle breaks and an offload. Thought he was very sound in defence too. Judah Imbu, the man who could be going to Perth at the end of this season. He had 52 minutes and a line break assist and a try assist. 3 tackle breaks out of dummy half. He's a very physical sort of a body. They'll be very intriguing to see throughout the year. And then Zachariah Miles had 9 runs to 93 metres, a line break, 7 tackle breaks, 2 offloads in a very steady performance from the Redcliffe fullback. Well, next up we're going over to Ipswich where the new look Jets take on a Townsville side that surprised many last season with a top 4 finish.
Oh! Go for 4. Sure, still got it, grounding. Coming to 5, Puppy. Up! Here. Go 3.
Ball retreated, mate.
3.
13's back.
Goes at the line. 3. Still 3. Down. Puppy. Coming to 4. Hey, Jaden.
Shooter's good.
Kicking out.
28.
Kick. 3!
That's good. He's pushed him in the
Knock
back.
on. Play on. That's right. It's a knock on, so 6 to go.
He pulls out.
Yep. Go 3.
15, 25, keep going.
Release the line!
All the way.
Go full.
That whole line's a metre. Vol.
Held it.
3 and a 5, mate. Yes. Go 2. Good line, mate. Outside. 2, that's in the line. Grounding now. Try. Happy with passes, touch line. All good, boys. Coming through. Release. Go 2. Stand together. Hold it. Go 3.
That's good. He's good. Try.
Happy.
He's happy, mate.
Go to 4.
So the Ipswich Jets picking up a 30-0 verdict to kickstart their premiership campaign over a Townsville Blackhawks side that was really disappointing in their season opening performance. Coach Terry Campese won't be happy with his side's performance. The fact that they just couldn't make any breaks or penetrate the Ipswich defence despite their many tackle breaks will be one that will be heavily scrutinised in their video review. Let's take a look at our stats deep dive. I want to kick off with Josh Patston here because all the debate in the preseason was whether he would get the start on the edge. Adam Christensen was there. Ultimately, they went Aaron Mahau. Now, he didn't do too bad, but Josh Patston put himself in the shop window once again with an impressive performance. A full 80-minute display, 16 runs, 142 metres, a line break assist, and a try assist. He had 3 offloads to boot as well. Made 32 tackles with a couple of missed and 1 ineffective. Moses Mbai is up next. He had 40 running metres with a line break assist, 3 try assists. He had it on an absolute string. He had a forced dropout as well in his first game back on Australian soil in a little while. He had 18 tackles, but he did miss 6 out there. And then Tony Francis, he seems to fall out of favour. I don't know why, but obviously they've had guys come through the grades in recent weeks. They've had Fayamani's come through. They like Luka Jensen, Tamapayao, and a couple of the other outside backs there. So he seems to have fallen out of favour a little bit. But efforts like this and efforts under Josh Hannay will have him knocking down the door sooner rather than later. He had a double. He had 14 runs to 139 metres, 3 line breaks and 2 tackle breaks. For the Blackhawks, Lennox Tover was one of the impressive ones in this one. He had 17 runs to 144 metres, a forced dropout, 9 tackle breaks. He did have 4 errors in what was a rough afternoon for everyone in Townsville, but he's looking on the comeback trail after a workplace accident took him out for much of last season. New signing Nicholas Lanaz was impressive at his 80-minute stint. He had 9 runs to 86 metres, 6 tackle breaks, 33 tackles with 2 missed, 2 ineffective. He'll be a incredibly handy pickup this season. And then Caden Lars, there's a bit of a whisper he could be coming in as a late inclusion this week. He had 8 runs to 83 metres, 2 tackle breaks, 48 minutes of prop, with 24 tackles with 1 missed, 1 ineffective. But our final game of the round took us to Port Moresby for the first time this season, when the Central Queensland Capras took on the PNG Hunters. And it was a good win.
Sorry, that was Zach Gatton, but again, he's held up. Is Richard right under the sticks, and I think he's claiming a try. Confirmation from the match referee, and the Capras finally have cracked the Hunters' line. Look at the shape of the attack as well. Oh, goes right through. Good hands again, and they will score on this right-hand corner, and it's their number 5, Mackay Dumas, going over the big unit. Jack Gatton will play the ball from dummy half. Richard looking for his second. I think he's got this one over the line. Referee try. He'll submit to the tackle, 5 short of the line. And that looks forward anyway, but referee's there to adjudicate try time again. Yeah, there it is. So another try to the for the visiting Capras.
He's locked in.
10 away now from the line. PNG Hunters still looking for points here. Sonny Wubble. Easy over, I think he's referee confirmed try time finally. Back towards the middle. This Brown just running freely there through the middle, and a penalty against PNG.
So it's a penalty because he drops his weight on the ankle. Okay, he's going to go and report. Okay, you can go. 6.
Ari Corners and
okay.
Trevor.
Players are coming in. He's still on the ground.
Joel Genner.
He struck him in the face. He's going to go to the bin.
Oh, he's gone. He's very quickly. Trying to get through the middle. This could be a possible try. Hang on. Try. Now, comes back to the middle. Good hands, Mavoko. Good hands here from the PNG Hunters. And he is Miles heading for the line. I think he's got this one down.
It was a good win for the Capras, picking up a 24-16 win with an impressive first half performance, seeing the Capras lead by 22 points to 0. Papua New Guinea scored 3 tries in the second half, but it wasn't to be in an impressive display by Lionel Harbin's CQ Capras side. Paul Ayton, after the game, expressed disappointment with referee Daniel Schwass's interpretation, especially around the 6 against. Let's take a look at the stats deep dive, and Ilalalu from the PNG Hunters impressed in the middle third, picking up a try. He had a line break and 3 tackle-based busts, scoring over for a critical try to just help his team the momentum when they had a player in the sin bin. Miles Barner was impressive as well, with the Hunters losing guys like Alex Max, a couple of our other Morea and a couple other players over to Jason Demetrio's London Dream. It's a critical year for development for these outside backs. He had a try, 7 tackle breaks, 14 runs, 123 metres, as well as a cheeky line break. And then Sonny Wabo there too, an energizer bunny with every touch. We love what we saw from him last season. It was impressive. 7 tackle breaks as well, a line break, 16 runs for 159 metres. For the Capras, let's kick off with Trey Brown. He had 62 running metres with a line break assist and a try assist, a forced dropout to boot from the number 9, 29 tackles with 3 missed and 2 ineffective. I'm going to save Nixon Punt for later because he's our player of the round, but just look at those numbers, and yeah, that's pretty much all we have to say on Nixon Punt. And then Valentine Richard, he had a double, 5 tackle breaks, 13 runs, 76 metres, 2 line breaks, 19 tackles with 2 missed and 1 ineffective. Well, our 3-2-1 is running in this competition as well, and those are some of the players that stood out this season, picking up maximum points over the first round. Well, looking at the ladder at the completion of round 1, and Ipswich and Mackay leading the way, Melbourne Pride picked up the bye, and it's sitting pretty just inside the 8. Team of the week for this week sees Braden Burns at fullback with Miles Barnett and Tony Francis on the wings, Caleb Nagamu and Payson Pate in the centres, Moses Mbai and Josh James in the halves. The forwards, Valentine Richard and Max Bradbury, Mason Teague is the hooker with Josh Patston and Nixon Put in the back row, Sam Costa locking the scrum. The bench, Jordan Martin, Callum Egley, Zane Dunford and Jaden Hunt. Our player of the round this week is Nixon Putt from the Central Queensland Capras. He had 22 runs for 223 metres, a line break assist, 8 tackle breaks and 5 offloads, with 21 tackles, no misses and just the 1 ineffective. He'll be high on the PNG Chiefs shopping list for their first season and will cause carnage against NRL sides. Congratulations, Nixon Putt, on your player of the round performance. And that is our program for this week. A massive thank you for your company at home. We're back in 2026, bigger than ever. If you've got any recommendations, hit us up on our socials on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and Twitter. We're looking forward to seeing your growth this year. I'm AJ Luke Antonio. On behalf of the entire League Scene team, we'll catch you next week.